John Rambo, the ultimate killing machine, a one-man army. Like whenever you're playing Call of Duty in middle school, up late on a school night, well, you would pretend to be Rambo. He's that almost of a mythical figure when it comes to killing, just gunning down enemies. A true super soldier.
I don't know how to express my feelings!
But he might have just run into his match today. Because today, well, he's facing off against the ultimate hunter, the ultimate predator. Yeah, a literal predator.
There's something you need to know.
Please.
I'm Chris Hansen.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Traveling across the cosmos looking for the best hunt, trying to find some worthy prey, and well, he settled in on John Rambo. So, who's coming out on top here? Who's going to win in the battle arena? Let's get into it. A former Vietnam vet and a highly skilled Green Beret, Rambo was taught to survive, taught to stay alive behind enemy lines, taught to fight, taught to kill, until he became the very best at it. Like legit able to take on small armies. He's that good. And after returning home from war as a highly decorated vet, while his country rejected him, turned their back on him, Rambo was shunned from the country he would die to protect, became a homeless drifter that often slept in the woods or went hungry. Of course, this didn't help either that Rambo was deeply disturbed, suffered from PTSD. And I mean, who wouldn't? He watched his entire squadron be killed in war. Some of them were even killed by his own country, as the United States dropped Agent Orange on soldiers from both sides. Then he was a POW and was tortured for years before managing to survive and escape. So yeah, I would say he's got some trauma. But while you could actually argue that Rambo hates killing, okay, maybe not, but what he hates even more are bullies. He's always ready to stand up for what he believes is right, help those who can't help themselves. While he might not start the fight, you can be sure he's gonna finish it. Whether that's against a small-town police force, or the Afghan army, or Mexican cartels, or whoever is standing in his way. During his 3-year tour of duty in Vietnam, Rambo had 59 confirmed kills, going on to be decorated with 2 Silver Stars, 4 Bronze Stars, 4 Purple Hearts, the Distinguished Service Cross, and the Congressional Medal of Honor. So just insanely decorated. One of the most highly touted soldiers in United States history.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
He's a master marksman. He can basically use any weapon out there on the field with deadly accuracy and lethal effect. Like literally any weapon. He'll just be running around, spraying bullets all over the place, red sweatband flapping in the wind, not even looking at his target, and still hitting everybody. He's just that good. Any gun in his hand and he can instantly kill you with it.
This is so awesome! This is so much better than the stupid gadgets I used to make!
He's also a really talented archer. Maybe not like on Hawkeye levels or anything like that, but he definitely gets the job done. He'll use this whenever he needs to be stealthy, which will definitely come in handy with this fight, or whenever he wants to be the exact opposite of stealthy and just wants to blow some shit up or blow some people up. He's also got quite the affinity for knives, one knife really in particular. He's killed countless people with it, and he's also just able to use it to help him survive in the wilderness, work through problems, anything like that. Of course, it also just comes in real handy when he's got to face down a big dude in a one-on-one fight. Got to square off in unarmed combat. And this is where Rambo can once again really shine. Because I mean, just look at that body. Like, if this is what it means to serve in the army, if you get this body, well, then sign me up.
You've been a prisoner for weeks, but you're still ripped as hell. You focus on core, what's your routine?
I mean, sure, you might get some serious PTSD. You might get captured or see your friends killed in front of you. The whole first movie is basically one big anti-war movie shouting, don't sign up for the army, but at least you got some huge muscles out of it. And Rambo was able to put all those huge muscles to good use. He's crazy strong. He's decapitated a Burmese soldier with just one swing from his machete. He sliced another dude's head clean in half with a meat cleaver. Rambo is definitely crazy strong. He's broken bones, straight up pulled out bones, snapped necks. Rambo one time even straight up tore out a dude's throat. Like, what? I didn't even know that was possible.
Jesus Christ.
Pretty cool, right? Bet you weren't expecting that.
Yeah, that was really disgusting.
We'll get used to it, because that's my main move.
He's crazy fast. He can dodge and evade gunshots, outrun soldiers, even dogs while they were chasing after him. And he has no problem easily pulling out his pistol and shooting down several people before any of them could get a shot off. And then Rambo has some crazy high durability. The guy is insanely tough, can just take attacks and keep on going. No injury is going to stop him from killing you. Got that do or die mentality. Like when Cap said this,
You get killed, walk it off.
well, Rambo basically lives that out in every single fight he's been in. He can survive super high falls, explosions, getting shot with bullets, getting impaled, some serious torture. The guy just keeps on going through all of it. Like he'll get hurt, scream out in pain, and then a little while later, Rambo just keeps on going like nothing had ever happened in the first place.
We have ways of making you talk.
Twilight by Stephanie Meyer.
You wouldn't dare.
I never thought I'd f a vampire.
You try to swallow his own tongue, stop it!
Maybe the best thing that Rambo has going for him, especially in this fight, is that he is smart. He's an incredibly gifted soldier. His mind is just perfectly crafted for war and combat. He's a master of stealth, blending into his surroundings, even covering himself in mud. Sound familiar? And Rambo is honestly amazing at hiding from the enemy, sometimes even hiding in plain sight. Basically, he's a master at guerrilla warfare, which also means that he's really, really good at making improvised traps. He's constantly able to use his terrain and his surroundings to his advantage, and that's really a big reason why he's been able to kill a lot of his enemies and survive a whole lot of wars, because he's just better at traps and strategy than you. Basically, Rambo is like the ultimate human jungle warrior. In almost any scenario, he's gonna be the predator. He's gonna be the hunter, the guy who's in control of the situation, the one who's stalking his prey. But I don't know if that's how it's necessarily gonna play out that way here, because he might be the best on Earth, but the predator is like the best in the galaxy. But I guess the first thing we need to talk about is just exactly what kind of predator we're talking about here. And I'm not necessarily talking about pred aliens or ultimate predators or anything like that, even though there are those variants out there. No, I'm just talking about skill level and expertise here. Predator culture centers all around the ritualistic hunting of other species. This is the foundation of their entire society. In fact, most of their entire life is devoted to the hunt. They'll even travel across huge galaxies all in order to face off against a worthy challenge. They go through an initiation process where they must kill a xenomorph in one-on-one combat. And after they're successfully able to do that, well, they can mark themselves as blooded and are now able to go out on solo hunts. However, being blooded is actually a really broad term. So that means that a predator's skill can vary here. Like the city hunter is a newly blooded predator off on his very first off-world hunt to Earth. It did not go well. The jungle hunter is another blooded predator, but he's been hunting for years. He's killed countless soldiers, took down elite guerrilla warfare units, was only killed by Dutch after he had basically butchered all of Dutch's team. So I mean, yeah, skills can vary, which I guess makes the question, what can the average predator do? What can they handle? Well, there's Smiley, who slaughtered a good number of xenomorphs with complete ease and killed a queen with wrist blades at the end. There's Ahab, an elder predator, who once went straight fisticuffs with an engineer and held his own for a little bit. despite not being in his prime and despite the fact that engineers can kill mountains of xenomorphs with their bare hands. I'm not joking. And they can hold their own against queens with just their fists. There was a novel about a predator who went on an impressive killing spree, killed hundreds of armed men, and even tossed around with a huge alligator. Lightstepper was still fairly young, yet managed to kill many xenomorphs and armed humans, all while missing one hand. He even killed a young pred alien. There was another renowned clan leader who, despite having broken ribs on top of all sorts of other injuries, killed xenomorphs rather easily, held his own for a little bit against a queen. In another comic, a predator killed a bunch of giant squids, giant hagfish-looking creatures, and killed numerous armed divers. There's a comic where a predator took a Civil War cannon to the face. It was completely unfazed by the blast, despite it pretty much instantly vaporizing the man he was holding. In another comic, well, the predator killed the biggest mountain lion this world has ever seen. I swear, it was like the size of a lioness. It killed countless military soldiers. It dodged a bazooka from close range. It took 3 chopper missiles to the face. It was barely fazed by it. The dude was an absolute nut. And Predator Hunters 2. Well, it had a predator kill plenty of special forces soldiers. It had a huge trophy room in a cave, took an airstrike. So yeah, just another absolute unit. There was another predator who survived a direct hit from a rocket launcher with no injury, tore open tank armor with his bare hands, survived a huge explosion, and was later just having a good old laugh about it. Then another predator was able to easily slaughter multiple huge grizzlies with nothing but wrist blades. So what's all this tell us? Well, just that while predators can vary across the board, they are insanely powerful. Sure, sometimes they can lose to police detectives or a samurai guy or even get beat up by a big old mother bear, but more often than not, well, they're the ones killing the big old bear. They're the ones plowing through elite soldiers, killing the deadliest prey, taking everything else down. And even just take the jungle hunter, for instance. I mean, this is the predator that lost to Dutch, who's basically a John Rambo clone, just like Rambo light. But he wasn't actually just losing straight up to Arnold Schwarzenegger, so that means that he would lose to Stallone here too. For starters, he had been hunting humans that he'd consider worthy prey for years down in that jungle, to the point where he became a local legend. They even called him the demon who makes trophies of men. He encountered the special forces group and ambushed them all, wiping them out, even taking them and disemboweling them and skinning them alive, something that predators do to signify easy prey. He then encountered Dutch's men, the absolute best of the best, began picking them off just as easily, like he slaughtered all these highly trained soldiers like they were nothing. Only reason Dutch survived was because of essentially luck. He realized the predator couldn't see him when he was covered in mud. And from there, well, Dutch was able to come up with traps and craft weapons and basically do everything that Rambo could ever hope to do in the same situation. And it still wasn't enough. The predator still got one over on Dutch. He challenged Dutch to an honorable fight and was easily taking that one. Dutch basically won just through sheer luck. So, could Rambo do just as good in this same scenario? Yeah, sure, I guess. The problem is, Dutch had so many of his buddies that the predator had the option to kill first. Rambo was all by himself. Dutch was able to figure out the predator's weakness just through sheer luck. Rambo technically could too, but it would still involve the same level of extreme luck. And while it's possible that Predator might see Rambo as the true warrior he is and reward him with an honorable fight, which I'm not even sure that would go over too well for Rambo, it's also just as likely that Rambo is just sniped up in the treetops or stabbed from behind before he can even see the Predator or even really knows what's going on. Despite being smaller and weaker, predators still consider some certain humans to be dangerous prey. And it's less about their strength or power, but more about their craftiness, their cunning, and they're not supposed to be underestimated, not even by the best hunters out there. They even tell scary stories about humans to their kids, to the point where some predators grow up being afraid of people. And Rambo, he's like the best of us. He's like one of the best fighters that we have to offer. So if anybody's going to be holding their own and taking down predators, well, it might as well be him. And I believe there are definitely certain predators that he could take down in certain scenarios where he could survive in. And it's not totally inconceivable that a predator could lose to a human. It's definitely happened before. So, like in Predator against the Jungle Hunter, replace Dutch with Rambo, Rambo makes it out of there. In Predator 2, replace Danny Glover with Stallone, and Rambo probably wins against the City Hunter. Put John in a certain situation where the odds are slightly more stacked in his favor, or he's got prior knowledge about what the Predator is, and he's got the skills and abilities to come out on top, especially if the Predator is younger or less experienced. But in just a straight up fight against an average predator, well, love you, John. Wish you all the best, Rambo, but I don't see making it out of that one alive. The average predator is just too much, too powerful for one soldier to go up against on his own, even if it's a soldier like Rambo. The predator wins.